My guest is Matthew Renshaw. He's the Team Leader Water, New South Wales and ACT at AECOM. G'day Matthew, thanks for coming in.
Great to be here, thanks.
There's been a big program of change going on at AECOM. Just before we get into the details of it, what was the situation 3 years ago? You had a female CEO and she looked out across the business, and what did she see that concerned her? What needed changing?
Firstly, she acknowledged that about 30% of our workforce was female. The senior leadership team recognised that the diversity that we could achieve through a better gender balance would bring different perspectives, different experience, and you know that's good for business. So they're sort of about driving a cultural change and talking about it. I think that was probably the first step. To back up the talk, we developed some policies and procedures that our people could align to, and I guess those pieces really empower us as people managers like myself to talk openly and freely about the issue.
You were talking to me about unconscious bias. There's training within the organisation about unconscious bias. What is it and why is it important?
There is. Look, so every people manager across our business has this training, and really it's about having natural biases that you may not necessarily be self-aware of. So the training challenges you to think about what you might normally your normal perspective or view might be, and it challenges you to think about reality and the statistics.
And that's every manager.
It is. Yes.
That's a big investment of time right there, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then there's this bucket of money that you've got at AECOM to address the gender pay gap. I mean, talk about putting your money where your mouth is. How much money's in the bucket and what's it meant to do?
So, again, I think there was an acknowledgement, people with visibility over people's remuneration saw that there was a gap, and in some instances it was diverging. The gap was becoming greater, and so we sought to curb that. And so our senior leadership made a commitment to addressing the gap and put aside a bucket of money each year as part of our annual remuneration process.
And that was to bridge that gap, to give extra to women in the workforce to say, well, for some reason, you've fallen behind your peers.
Yes.
And we're going to make up that gap in your income in one fell swoop.
That's right.
Wow.
Right. So I think, there's probably a way to go, to be fair. But over the last 3 years, we've invested $1.3 million in trying to address the pay gap.
Your new CEO, Todd Battley, has taken on this agenda as well. He's a male champion of change.
That's right.
At Consult Australia. He's a pay equity ambassador at the Workplace Gender and Equality Agency. What is the role of men in helping with this transformation?
Look, I think that it's important that males recognise the issue for starters, because the stats are real. And so there's no point ignoring it. I think that gender diversity and diversity more broadly is just good for business. And so why wouldn't you get behind it? It's pretty easy to sort of rationalise, to be quite honest. I think our role is to promote our peers, our female peers, into opportunities and positions that in the past males have often been afforded in preference to females for whatever reason. So that's not good enough, and we're taking the matter pretty seriously at AECOM. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I can affect the change.
What does that feel like at work, to do that and then come home to 2 young daughters?
Powerful.
It feels good.
It does feel good. Yeah, absolutely. The water team at AECOM, which I'm team leader of, we've got about 50 people in the team. 40% of that 50 people are female. Many of those women in the team have gone out of the workplace for various reasons across the course of their careers, and I've been in a position, with the assistance of others, to welcome them back into the workforce, into roles, and give them responsibilities where they can see career progression, and they do feel like they can have a career and also be a mum. So I see it at home with my wife and my kids, so it's important to me, and giving opportunities for female colleagues and friends to do the same as I'm doing is important to me.
And what's that done for the productivity of your workplace, the well-being of your staff?
It's stepped it up. It's a happier place, I think. There's lots of flexibility that we've employed in our workplace. We recognised that it was less about how much time was done and where it was done, and more about the quality of our outputs and deliverables to clients. So with that in mind, many people in the workforce, not just females, are restricted with other commitments in life, and so affording them flexibility in their work has allowed us to get the best out of them. So there's quite a number of initiatives that we've implemented already, and there's more to come in the new year as well.
Has it been good for you as a leader to be part of this?
It's been great. It's been great. Yeah, every day, just as part of my role, I'm often given the opportunity to talk to the team and people, not just our female colleagues, but our male colleagues, about how it makes a difference and what we're doing as a business, more broadly, and within the team even, to see that we're successful in achieving these objectives.
Great to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks a lot.